everyone. Today we are installing the Küat Diode Dynamics direct mount system for the Toyota 4Runner on my 5th gen 4Runner right here. We have the box right here. Let's just cut right into it. All right, let's get all these packing materials out of here.
Until you're enjoying this.
First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna install this tail. And to get the tail installed, we're gonna take these little square nuts for these M6 bolts. And here's the square nut here. And we're gonna just drop them right in. We're gonna drop them in, and you'll see there's one side that's curved and one side that's flush. You just wanna drop the flush side towards the flush side of the metal. And I'm gonna keep track of these bolts because if I lose them, which I will, I'm gonna screw myself over. Let's see. And this is kind of an intelligence test. I am failing the intelligence test. Definitely the way it's supposed to go in. Like that. Throwing this other side in right here. And we're just gonna connect this in. Slides right in. And then I'm gonna install these two guys just like I did that back side, so it's prepared for that Diode Dynamics light bar. So rather than those square nuts, this front side has this rectangular nut, and it slides right in just like this and sits cleanly right here. And then this whole assembly slides in. We're gonna insert these in both sides. And that just kind of locks both of those in there, so I'm not worried about them falling out. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna install all of these M6 bolts to lock everything in place. And I'm gonna put a little bit of medium strength thread locker on these just to make sure like the road rattling doesn't back these out. Being careful not to like cross thread these or anything. It should go in pretty smooth and easy. Okay, so we did that side. Now we're gonna go do the front. On the front, one difference is this top bolt, which goes in the top here, is about twice as long, but still the same M6 bolt. And then we're gonna get this other bolt in, just like, and this is the same as the back side. So to recap, we have the longer M6 bolt here, and then the shorter standard one down here. We're installing these front driver and front passenger roof interface points. The front driver and front passenger interface points only rest on the roof, so we can bolt them to the rack right now. This will just slide right through just like that. And then I'm just gonna hand tighten this with this nut to begin with. You'll notice these are demarcated with FP, and then this one was FD. This front passenger, front driver. So this will go to the passenger side. And I'm not using thread locker on these because the nut has like a rubber O-ring inside it. We realized our beautiful table here had sunk about 3 feet, so we jacked it back up. Each of these load bars gets 2 of these metal spacers here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 T-nuts. That means we need to put 8 T-nuts on each side of the rack. So we're just gonna slide these right in. Well, not like that, like this. And I'm gonna do 4 on this side. Notice how there's 2 tiers of this T-track here. We're going to the lower tier since these load bars are gonna sit flush with the top of the rack. Spacers are gonna wanna slide. When you place these, it's important you slide the spacer over the hole and then set the hole over this T-nut or whatever it's called that's underneath. So you have like a spacer crossbar sandwich. Let's keep falling down, so I'm gonna use one of these nifty little roller cams right here as a belt. That's not going anywhere. Okay, so now I'm inserting all of these bolts, and I'm just gonna put a little Loctite on them because I don't want them coming loose. What we don't want is we don't want these bars to cover these here. We are going to take our stock crossbars off the 4Runner. I'm just gonna use a screwdriver. I think it's better to use like a trim removal tool, something that won't damage it, but I don't have that, so we're just gonna go the old-fashioned way. Popped off. There we go. We have this 12mm socket. We're gonna use this to take these off. One thing to think about when you're taking these off is there's a plate sitting in the roof that these mount into. If you take one out and then the other, there's a chance you'll spin the plate inside. So you wanna take these out and rotate between the bolts as you're removing them. So I loosen one, then I loosen the other a little bit, just so we don't rotate that plate that these mount into. I have successfully removed all those 12mm bolts. We're just gonna pop this bad boy right off. And it helps to have a partner on the other side, but I don't. So we're just gonna rotate it. So now we have all these exposed holes here that go directly into our roof. We are going to clean this area, and then we're gonna use some silicone to seal it, and then we'll put the bolts in. I'm just using some acetone. I'm gonna get it real clean. It's out. When you put on a belt because your pants are falling down, your pants are just gonna split. No! Yeah, it's not good. I mean, like...
Just do a high kick.
Just get rid of this.
Oh no! Oh no!
Alright, we're ready to keep going. Now we're gonna apply just 100% silicone into the bolt holes and around them to seal this from water, and then we're gonna put these mounting points on. And you'll see this is like rear passenger, RP. We'll go around and we'll show you the other ones, but they're marked similarly. So you can definitely do a lot of this. It's just to waterproof. And then I'll wipe it off with a towel in a second. And then on these bolts, I'm just gonna do a little of this medium strength thread locker. This in right here. So I got that on. So notice how this ridge is on the outside. It's kind of gonna cradle the roof rack. So this looks good here. And those threads are engaging there. The instruction manual says that there are washers for this, but I can't find them. I mean, I think like this thing functionally acts as a washer. It's the same diameter as this bolt. I don't even know where it would go. So we're gonna skip the washers, and you can yell at me in the comments when I'm wrong. This is the middle passenger. Again, I'm being just kind of liberal with the silicone because I don't wanna have any water leakage here. And then I'm gonna line this, and this is, again, middle passenger, where I believe it goes. Thread locker on these bolts. And the trick is, after you get silicone everywhere, lining it all up properly. Now we're in. I'm not tightening down one bolt too much before I get the other one set, because again, you don't wanna, there's a plate inside the roof and you don't wanna rotate that plate. So really don't apply any like pressure until both bolts are clearly locked in.
I'm at the limits of my reach. All right.
That looks pretty sick. Don't leave your bolts in the sun because they will be so hot that your fingers are starting to burn just touching them. We're just gonna take these. I think they're M8s, but don't quote me on that. They're the last ones in the box. Insert the nut below and just hand thread it in.
So if I recall correctly, The masking tape in the video we watched were for those nuts that you're holding underneath it.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do that.
Perfectly doable with your hands, it seems.
If you just have a little dexterity, you can just throw it under there. And...
What's the problem?
Well, this one is lower than the other one. So I have to like...
Can you even get it in there?
I was like, I don't need no tape. I need the tape. I got it.
Good job.
If you need any dental work done, we're booking appointments in the Salt Lake City area. Now we have the roof rack on. We started at 9 a.m. It's now 2 p.m. We exploded 1 bottle of silicone because I didn't know how to use the silicone gun. And we still have to do all the electrical. But the one part of this whole process I kind of thought about was the electrical. So I think it will actually go faster than one might think. This is the Diode Dynamics Stage Series 40 light bar. This light bar here has both white LEDs and amber. You can turn them on independently using the little switch they have in there. And then it also has this awesome heat sink on the back. So Diode Dynamics included these wind fairings. We have to install these first before we do anything on here. And they basically, you just take these Torx screws out and then put the wind fairings on underneath. That's the first thing we're gonna do here. Once we do that, we are going to install some brackets here, and then we will mount the actual light bar up to the roof. We'll install the wire hider, and then we'll get into the wiring. The replacement bolts are actually a T15 Torx bit with the slightly longer bolts that are included in the Diode Dynamics kit. Next, we're going to install these brackets right here, and they sit pretty easy, just like that. And we're not going to make these very tight just to give us some adjustability later. Now it's at my height. Let's mount this bad boy. It's like too wide. Am I mounting it in the wrong spot? Karena and I were bashing our heads against the walls trying to figure out why these brackets didn't work. There's a separate set of brackets we didn't see in the box that is meant for this. So don't get confused. There's the original ones that are meant to go on any rack, and then these ones, and these are the ones you want for this particular setup. These things have a side that's at a right angle and then another side that's like angled like this. The flat side goes towards the front. So we're gonna install these on here. The cool thing is, in this, like when you watch most people install something like this, they've read this instructions 12 times, which nobody does that. Like, you're gonna see the things in this video that you can mess up on, because we're gonna mess up on all of them and then tell you. Oh, like a glove, baby. Okay, so we're just installing these 2 bolts here. So next, we gotta run the wiring. I'm just gonna direct this guy down this way, because what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to run the wire hider. It's gonna start here, come all the way down, just like this. And they say measure twice, cut once, so we're gonna do it again.
Does it count as measuring twice if you didn't mark where you measured it the first time?
Kind of. That is perfect. Exactly what I want. I'm just gonna clean this section of my windshield. I'm using like this acetone again, just to make sure it's really nice and clean for the adhesive. It was not clean. I'm just gonna apply this. And I'm trying to be very precise here. I don't like to peel all the adhesive like all at once because I think it's easier to not worry about the bottom. Sweet. So we're gonna run this cable through the wire hider down under this plastic here and into the engine compartment where we can connect to this adapter right here. That's pretty cool. Okay, so for the wiring, it's relatively simple but hard to execute. So the power comes from the relay up to the battery right here. This is the last thing you connect. Then down here, it looks like just a mess of wires, but it's pretty simple. There's one wire that comes down right here, this one, under this piece of plastic, behind the firewall, and then up and out on this other side, and then up to the light bar. That's the power and control line for that light bar. And then there's another line that comes down through here, and it comes through this little grommet right here, through the firewall, back around, if you follow me, to the other side, down under here.
You can see it there.
Yep, all the way back, and you can pull this out to a connector right here. We drilled a hole in my lower dash right there, and then punched this through and sealed it all back up, and it looks pretty darn good, in my opinion. Okay, we have everything installed finally after a lot of crawling around, cut my hand, and we're gonna test it. It looks like it works. Dude, hell yeah.